Hey everybody, welcome to OtherRealm Studio. Once again, working on the book for Magnolia Fawn. So we're going to work on some illustrations. So here I have a herd of deer in poses, essentially. And they're pretty much copied and pasted. So what I'm going to be doing today is making each of them individual deer. If I can figure out what layer they're on. It might be a little tricky. Okay, I know they've got to be above this one. Okay. Alright, so I have these two layers of deer. And what I'm going to do is transfer those to the lower layer. Right? So now, no more deer. There they are again. And then I'm going to paint over them on the original deer layer, the top one. Now, I am more or less happy about where they are and with the number of them. But they are looking a little bit generic. So let's start with the ones in the back. So this one, more than being a drawing process video, is going to be a lot more like an editing video, I guess. Because, you know, one of the things that you got to work with when you're drawing a big project like a book is you have to rework the things that are not working. So if something isn't what you want in your vision for your project, then you want to be sure that you change that before you go to production. And so you can't get disheartened by all the work that you have to throw away or paint over. You can't think in terms of, I lost so much. That's known as the sunk cost fallacy. It's just that sometimes there's no help for it. If you want your project to be the best possible um, execution of your vision for it, and sometimes you have to scrap things and start over. Okay, so I'm going to do a much lighter shade for the undercoat or for the under base of this one back here. And I'm going to fix a little bit of his proportions. Okay, let's hide the second layer and finish up his muzzle and hooves, and make sure that I haven't left anything in the background. Okay, so there's one. So once I get done painting over all these and, fixing them, then I'll be able to erase the previous deer layer, and I can consider this page done. So I do have a couple more pages that I want to illustrate for the book. Yeah, so I went out on a walk and did not take a picture of the road to get any good perspective shots. So I'm gonna have to go back out there again tomorrow and do that. Come on, save thing. Alright. Okay, so right here I'd had the pose while walking forward a little off. And I had originally uh, drawn this page uh, a year or more ago, back when I was first just working on figuring out the project. So I didn't really have as much experience drawing deer at the time. So I have since learned how to do better about proportions and conveying the movement. So right now this kind of feels like uh, going over a student's work. And making minor corrections. It's been a weird week, y'all. Sitting down here to paint has been the most normal thing about my day. So I guess the upside here is that at least I have the sense to paint the deer on a separate layer from the background. It would be so annoying to have to do this if it was all on one layer, or uh, if it was not digital paint. One thing that surprised me when I got the opportunity to observe more deer in real life is how long their tails are. I always thought they were rather short and fluffy like old bunny tails, but no, no. They are actually rather long. And I guess we already know that white-tailed deer use their tails as kind of an early warning system for the rest of the herd. They just have the reflex to flick their tails up when they go bounding off, so that if they see white tails up, they know that something has caused an alarm. I guess it would also make it easier for the rest of the herd to follow them. But yeah, they have all kinds of um, social cues designed so that they can live in a herd that people just have no idea of. So they'll stamp their feet in warning. Um, those will stamp their feet to warn other deer away from their fawn. And bucks will do it as a uh, dominance display sort of thing, whether they're playing or not. and they have different calls and vocalizations. Not a lot, well, maybe a lot, I don't know, but there's not a lot that they use often. They're usually very quiet, uh, but the fawn will call for their mothers. It sounds like they're saying "be." It's not quite a bleat like a sheep would do, but it's kind of in the family of that. And some rehabbers, uh, when they go to reunite a fawn with its mother, if it needed temporary medical care or if it was taken in by mistake, they'll try to reunite it, and they'll sometimes walk around with a recording to try to draw out the mother fawn or the mother doe. Okay, let's hide these. Okay, so these two already look a lot better. Um, let's see. I think this one here in the back next. Let me see if I can find another range of colors. Um, yeah, this one's pretty close to the same tone that it already is, but a little bit warmer instead of looking so gray. Yeah, this is more like the average color of the deer around here. So when I started this project, I was a little bit concerned about how long it would take me to draw everything, and I worked out shortcuts to take with it, um, like the cutting and pasting. And then later on, I uh, I tried to rework my schedule so that I could just schedule the entire month of June to working on this project, committing to it for an hour every night or two. And that almost worked. Um, but I lost some of my work on a commission, so um, didn't quite work out as I had hoped. Let's erase those. So I'm still behind on my major commission that I had. But I've been trying to also work on it in between art stream sessions, when I can. And I'll get back on track with it and finish it up. And I also have a couple of things here and there um, scheduled. Uh, I'm just waiting to get back on the template um, and the photo I'm supposed to use for a book cover commission. Really, it's just putting the text on and the blurb and making sure the cover's the correct size. And I'm going to be working primarily, I think, in Corel Paint for that, because Clip Studio does not open up PDFs. And every time I get a survey from the Clip Studio people, I say, y'all would change my life if this program would just open a PDF. Because I'm used to the way I can draw in this one, and figuring out how to use all the controls in a completely different system is really tricky. So all I really need to know okay, let me see. I can actually change the pose on this one a little. But yeah, if only I could open up PDFs in Clip Studio Paint, then I should be happy and never have to go sneaking around with Corel. But so there's that, and there's also some pen and ink drawings that I want to submit for consideration to somebody else, like traditional pen and inks. And it's kind of nice to get back to my roots and draw things in real life. So I hope they pick some of my work. But that's really all I have going on as far as art. For other people. I have my own projects to work on. Uh, I have my comic, and I have writing to do. And I have a few things that I want to learn. Like I want to learn how to animate and animate a trailer for the comic. Um, the original thought was that uh, I could do a trailer that would be multi-purpose and use it as the intro video on Kickstarters. But with the way Kickstarter is now, I'm not sure that's a viable means of getting the print funds in. You know, it used to work in the past, but now I really don't know that it will. It just seems like there's a lot of things that I have uh, thrown my entire being into making work. Okay, let's touch up this one in the back. Uh, should I use this palette again? Let's do a lighter color. Oops. For the base, and then go lighter and darker for highlights and shadows. and change the posing slightly. Wait for the save. Okay, hide these and start from here. Hmm. I'm starting to do it again. You gotta stop me. When I start zooming in on something too much, on details that aren't even gonna make it into the print because the print isn't that fine. And obsessing over it pixel by pixel, I'm never gonna get done if you keep letting me do that. Okay. Let's be a bit more reasonable now. Alright, that's starting to look acceptable. So I still need to do some hooves. So let's grab the black. We will etch that in. We'll see if we need to do these hind legs later. And touch up the white on the tail. And there's our third deer done. Wring out a wrist. So you can see how much better that just 4 deer look than everything else in the picture. Yeah, these are starting to look more like donkeys, which I guess that kind of makes sense. I had just finished a project. Wait, when was this? Or I had been working on a project simultaneously that did include a donkey. So I guess that makes sense. Okay, now this one is the last one with an overlapping deer, so let's zoom in on it. Oh, wait. What color is it going to be? I guess if we make this one really dark, then it'll be a good background deer. So usually the deer around here are very young. The bigger bucks, they usually migrate further out. I really don't see a lot of big ones around here nearby. So when they're released, they move on in search of, greener pastures, thicker forests. We don't really have a lot of big older bucks out here, I don't think. I mean, there might be some on the other side of Connie's, maybe. I don't know. But I just realized I don't really see um, but a couple of deer. I mean, really the same ones sometimes. But usually it's the younger ones and they're just passing through. I guess as they get older, they get better at hiding. Okay, speaking of hiding, okay, so let's change this up a bit. Wow, it's been an hour. I haven't even got half a herd of deer done. So honestly, there's something kind of therapeutic about just sitting here painting deer. Um, I I really am very fortunate that I have the time to do this. I have the space to do it. Um, it's easy to believe that I do not, but all it takes is rearranging and priorities, and sheer cussed stubbornness and spite. Maybe not a lot of spite, but a little bit, enough to counteract the naysayers. So, no matter what, I'm going to get this book done. Um, Completing this book does not depend on the Kickstarter. I have the equipment I need to do this. I have the knowledge. Um, I can do everything myself. I'm not looking for additional funds for that. However, the reason I'm running the Kickstarter is so that I will know how many copies to print. And if I can get them printed in time for Christmas. So ideally, that would be something where I would put in the order around June. It's June now. Sometime around the end of July and have it printed up and shipped. And it would be ready in time for Christmas without anybody having to rush. Um, but that's the Christmas timeline, and uh, that does depend on whether the Kickstarter's funded. And that would let me know how many people have pledged to support the book and want a copy. And that would let me know how many copies to have printed. And also would let me afford to print the copies. Now, if the Kickstarter does not reach its goal by, I think, 7 o'clock in the morning on July 7th, but don't quote me on that because I'm not really sure right now because I am in paint mode, not math out the days mode. But if it doesn't make it in time to the goal, then it's nobody's loss. Nobody's card gets charged. Um, we just don't make that deadline. and I'll be the only one who really uh, feels any consequences for that. So I don't want to pressure anybody into backing if they really can't. However, even if you can't back the campaign, maybe somebody can. Maybe they would really love a beautiful book about uh, South Carolina wildlife rehab, um, and adorable little fawn. And so, in that case, I'd love to see some shares of the campaign. That would be awesome. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, I don't think that I have to uh, go into more detail than that with this particular deer right here. Let's back it up a little. Okay, see, he already looks so much better. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. To really populate this yard. So I will probably finish these up tomorrow. We are coming to the end of June, so we're very close to the deadline for the campaign, and uh, we had a nice start at the very beginning on the very first day, and not a lot has happened since then. I don't know if my reach has gotten throttled or if everybody who is interested in it has already pledged, but if this can reach more people, that would be fantastic. So if you can look up Kickstarter.com and the Magnolia Fawn children's book, you can get the book on ebook or paperback. If you're local, you can have yours delivered here and pick it up. This is going to include um, a lot of. It's going to be an educational book and include a lot of stories about different deer that have come through and have been successfully rehabilitated and released, in addition to the ones who have been kept for the sanctuary because they cannot actually be released. So Connie tries to do the best she can to make sure that all of the deer, get a good outcome. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to put the link in the comments. There we go. And also, for the final 8 to 10 days, or for the final 8 to 7 days of the campaign, I'm going to be taking this art stream off of Twitch and putting it on Facebook. We'll see if that does anything. But I will still have them all recorded on YouTube if you would like to go to YouTube and watch the live streams there. So let's hit a save here. And here you can see all the art that I've done for the book already. And I still have a couple more pages planned. And I'll get them done in the next 10 days, and we will see where we are with the campaign to see when it can be published. So, thank y'all for spending some time with me, and I'll see y'all later. Good night.